Dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth. 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, kids, Dad's gonna teach you how to dance. First, spread your feet apart. Then, pump your knee, nod your head, shake your hips, and bite your lip ever so slightly. Now, with one hand in the air, point at people with the other hand. I call that the rock star.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
Now, make a face like it just smells something bad.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People City Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
Serve Nebraska believes that volunteers are part of what makes Nebraska great. Each year, the Step Forward Awards honors volunteers from across the state who serve their communities in outstanding ways. We hope you'll join us this year at the Step Forward Awards luncheon on October 27th in Omaha. Help us thank volunteers with a celebration to remember. To register, visit serve.nebraska.gov and click Register Now. We hope to see you there. Paid for by Serve Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
The dangers of secondhand smoke are well known. But what about secondhand aerosol, which is created when using e-cigarettes? Science already shows a secondhand aerosol can contain nicotine, heavy metals, and cancer-causing agents. Eliminating exposure to secondhand aerosol is an important step to keeping everyone safe. Breathe easier knowing the facts.
For help quitting, call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome into Ticket Weekends. This is Bigger Than the Score. I'm Harrison Arns running the ones and twos, and we got the host, as always, Pete Ferguson. How's it going this morning, Pete? We talked about a little bit of a sleepier morning, nonetheless. But how you doing today? Absolutely, and we'll try to figure out the mic situation here. Here, go ahead and take my mic. Yeah, I'll let you take the mic right here.
Go ahead and do a duet there. Go ahead with each other. No, that's all right. No, Harrison, things going well this morning. And like I said, a little bit of a sleepy morning for I don't want to say just for ourselves, but probably the state as well. The station definitely was on till what I think said about 12:30 this evening. Or 12:30 this morning. Kind of doing rundown and breakdown of the show. You heard a couple replays earlier with Jay and Austin and them kind of breaking down the things on the game. So, all good stuff. A little rough one last night, but I think the world goes on and we move forward, and it's Thanksgiving week. Okay. So he's still looking. We're doing some troubleshooting here. That's what happens at 93.7 The Ticket. Great brand new studio. But no, it's been a fantastic week. Like I said, I mean, we're rolling into Thanksgiving week. A lot of things going on here. We've got that transition to kind of for the high school level, the winter sports and some of the other activities. I know we had the All Cities Choir going on. And so just want to kind of also give a shout out to last week's guest. Had a lot of positive comments on that. And so had a full house and full bellies as well with Chef Matt Nahy. We tried to jack him from the drive, and they called him in on Tuesday to reclaim their steak. So I think we're going to go back and forth on that for a while, Harrison. Yeah. It's like tested 1 2 1 2, tested 1 2, but
hello.
Got that radio voice going on. All right, go ahead. Hey, we're just gonna go right down the line. Lillian, go ahead for us real quick.
Hi.
Got that. Got the laugh too. McKenna.
Hi.
it's just got to be you. It's just like I said, it's just got to be you. But we'll continue on that. But I do want to thank them. I want to thank Chef Nay for coming in last week and really doing a phenomenal job and just kind of treating the scholars of Ubuntu Timberwolves. Coach Ruben for stepping into space. We had Veda, Scholar Veda, Macy, Ellie, and Kara. Who came in. So again, just want to thank all of them for just coming into the space and doing that. Also, just want to give a shout out. Thanks everybody for listening. Continuing to give some suggestions, some names of guests and things like that. We're continuing on to just kind of make this a show that everybody can enjoy, but also you get to hear some different people, different perspectives, but also different area youth. And so we've got some coming up here before the end of the year. I'm really excited to kind of share that story. And just people that provide some insight and perspective. So like I said earlier, winter sports are starting in the area. Had tryouts, I think, on Monday for a lot of those teams. And so a lot of them are going ahead and making it happen. Excuse me. We're just falling apart here today. I'm coughing. We're doing mic things all the way around. So Harrison, I don't know if we want to run to a quick break. Let's go ahead and see if we can run to a quick break because we got to go ahead and I got to get myself together. I'm about to have a coughing fit here. So I see that coming on. You're on Bigger Than the Score, 93.7 The Ticket.
Nutrition Authority presents Activator. University studies have shown that Activator helps with building muscle and strength while decreasing body fat. Activator is for male and females of all ages who want to look, feel, and perform their best. Activator can only be found in Nutrition Authority. Stop in, call, or visit us at mynutritionauthority.com.
Sunday morning. It's quiet. Not in a weird, too quiet way. Calm, peaceful, tranquil. You pour yourself that cup of coffee. You slice yourself a hearty chunk of one of Beatrice Bakery's breakfast breads. Now, maybe you're an apple streusel guy. Nothing wrong with that. I can respect that. Personally, I'm a turtle nut man. Something about those pecans. But the real ones know, don't sleep on that date nut bread. Sweet, but not too sweet. Nutty, not overly. The perfect morning treat. Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
This is where it happens. Long hikes with friends. Kayaking adventures with family. More horseback riding, zipline gliding, rock face climbing, hammock camping fun than you could ever imagine. And it's all outdoors, amongst the trees and across the prairie, here beneath Nebraska skies. Plan an outing today at yournebraskaadventure.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break. The garage door at our house has been needing replacement for a couple years, and a few months ago, we finally did something about it. Steve's Garage Doors and Services was great through the whole process in providing options and also going to the next level to get a door that was approved by our HOA. And best of all, the removal of the old door and installation of the new door was done smoothly with no issues. Call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today at 402-480-2840.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, and share it with my doctor.
Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor.
Now that I know my blood pressure numbers, I talked with my doctor. We're getting those numbers down.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it.
Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Learn more at manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association, in partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them?
By their clothes,
their age,
the way they speak. Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
The dangers of secondhand smoke are well known. But what about secondhand aerosol, which is created when using e-cigarettes? Science already shows a secondhand aerosol can contain nicotine, heavy metals, and cancer-causing agents. Eliminating exposure to secondhand aerosol is an important step to keeping everyone safe. Breathe easier knowing the facts.
For help quitting, call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
School bus drivers, custodians, paraeducators, and the list goes on of all the education support professionals who help every school in Nebraska run smoothly. They ensure that our students have a safe ride to school, healthy meals, and a clean environment to learn. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. Take a moment to say thank you to the support staff at your child's school.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Okay, kids, Dad's gonna teach you how to dance. First, spread your feet apart. Then, pump your knee, nod your head, shake your hips, and bite your lip ever so slightly. Now, with one hand in the air, point at people with the other hand. I call that the rock star.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
Now, make a face like it just smells something bad.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council. Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
First, I hold my hands out like they're on a steering wheel. Then I look over my shoulder. Next, I put it in reverse.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Back to Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger the Score. This is Peter Ferguson BHS LLC. Joined on the ones and twos with Harrison. We appreciate everybody on their patience as we had some technical difficulties, but Harrison was going ahead and working his magic and got things going. So really appreciative of that. And so excited again to be here. A beautiful day again, where we haven't gotten quite hit by the full winter bug, but we're going to kind of roll right into the show and have three, again, area scholars here that are kind of out here representing and doing their thing, and excited to have them. I got one that's a repeat from a couple months ago, so we're going to have to go ahead and ask him how his shoe game and everything's going. But welcome y'all. How y'all doing?
Great.
Okay. Now they got bashful. They were up here taking selfies, got everything posted online, this, that, and the other. But hey, we've got McKenna, we've got Lillian, and we've got Xavier. How y'all doing? I'm going to start that again. How y'all doing? Fantastic. Well, hey, we're going to start off real quick. Maybe just tell us a little bit about yourself. I'm going to start with you, Lillian, since you're in the middle. Tell us who you are, and then are you from the area? Where have you gone to school?
My name's Lillian Fiddle. I go to Lincoln Southwest High School, and I'm a junior. And I participate in a bunch of clubs at Southwest. I don't know if you want me to list.
Yeah, go ahead and start listing some of them.
I'm president of our GSA, so our Genders and Sexualities Alliance. And then I'm also president of Hive Helpers, our environmental club. And then I participate in varsity speech, and I also do journalism.
Okay. And I was here and kind of over here, and you had a speech meet yesterday?
Yeah, I had a speech meet at Pius.
Okay. How did it go?
Pretty good. Our team placed 3rd overall. I got 7th in poetry, so.
Okay, we might have to hear a piece of that a little bit later. Tell us who makes up your family? Who makes up your group?
My mom, my dad, and I have a little brother who's 10 and a sister who's just turned 19, is in college.
Awesome. You want to shout them out by name? Because at least you said mom. That's our running joke here. If you forget mom, things are going to go sideways.
My mom's name is Shandy. My dad's name is Charlie. And my brother's name is Levi. And my sister is Kathleen.
Awesome. Fantastic. And then we're going to bounce over to you, McKenna. McKenna's got the smile on and everything, all bright and early, representing well with the 93.7 The Ticket t-shirt gear, which you can find and come in the studio or go online and purchase at any time. But McKenna, tell us a little bit about you.
I go to Scott Middle School. I'm an 8th grader, and I participate in a few clubs, like TIE Club.
Okay, and what does TIE what does that stand for?
TIE stands for Teens Influencing Equity.
Okay.
And at my school, we host the annual Martin Luther King celebration.
Okay.
Where we pick a nominee.
And you've picked a nominee. Have you made an announcement on who that is yet, or do we need to have another show to bring you back on to unveil that?
We haven't announced.
Okay, we'll bring you back to go ahead and make that announcement. I do know who it is. I've been honored to be on that wall, and so it's a phenomenal event experience. Who's in your family?
My mom, my sister, my uncle, my grandma, my grandpa.
Okay, awesome. Want to shout them out by name?
No.
Okay. It's like, no, they're in the witness protection program. I don't want to say who they are. Xavier, what about you?
My name is Xavier Sorto. I'm a sophomore at Southwest, and some of the clubs I'm in are DECA and FBLA. I just started FBLA this year, and then I've been doing DECA since freshman year.
Okay. And as you can tell, Xavier is a sophomore. His voice sounds like he's James Earl Jones or something like that. He's been on before, so that some of you may be familiar. Give a plug out to you. You do kind of, you're a shoe guru of the community. So Soulfire Kicks. How's that been going?
It's still been slow. I mean, it should be picking up a lot more now. It's Q3 and we're in November, or Q4 and we're in November, so everything's just gonna ramp up really quickly and then die down right as January hits.
Okay, so if they need holiday gift giving ideas, are they available to contact you?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll definitely go ahead and get that out there. So you talked about your families, you talked about some of your involvements. Just the city of Lincoln. So I want to go back to you, McKenna. You said you go to Scott Middle School. Have you always lived in Lincoln, or where did you go to elementary school, if so, or where are you from?
I've always lived in Lincoln. For elementary school, I went to Human.
Okay.
And like that feeds into Pound. And so a lot of my friends from elementary school, like they went to Pound and I went to Scott. So it was like really nerve-wracking because I didn't have any friends, and I'm a pretty social person, but I was really awkward.
Okay. So what's the best thing about Scott Middle School right now for you? Or Human, one of the schools that you've been to?
I'd say right now at Scott, my favorite is like going to the clubs because I
Okay.
love like Thai club. It's a really good way to like embrace yourself and like learn more about equity and be able to meet new people. Because like for the Martin Luther King celebration, like if you haven't already met the nominee, then you get to meet them, and they're like all the nominees are really nice, and so it's like you just get to meet new people and you get to enjoy your time there.
Awesome. Lillian, what about you? I don't think have you always lived in Lincoln? Did you move in? Where did you go to elementary, middle school? Kind of what's been your educational journey?
And so I've always lived in Lincoln, and I went to Hill Elementary School, and then I went to Scott for middle school.
Awesome. And Hill, my mom taught at Hill for about 19 years. So very familiar with it. What's been one of the best parts, whether it's been Hill, Scott, or Southwest thus far?
I think probably I'm an introvert, so a lot of time in elementary school and middle school, I wasn't very talkative, and so I didn't involve myself in a bunch of things. But coming up to high school, I had this goal to involve myself in things, and so now I'm like a leader of 3 things at Southwest, and I think that really like helped me grow as a person, and I love the community.
Awesome. Fantastic. Xavier, what about you?
I've always I went to Cabot Elementary School, and then I went to Scott, and then now I'm at Southwest. And I think just one of like my favorite things at Southwest is just like I'd say like what she said, the community. There's a lot of things to do, and then like there's always a group that you're welcome to join and that they want you in. And so I think that just like is really a positive impact on all the kids at Southwest.
So all of you are fairly involved, in different ways. Just talk about like, why do you see it as important for just young people to be involved in things? I think sometimes you get young people get a rap of apathetic. They don't want to do anything, this, that, and the other. Like, why would you tell your peers, but also why would you tell other adults and parents that it's important that, hey, young people need to be involved in different things? Xavier, I'm gonna start with you.
One of the things I'm gonna just like kind of segue this, but one of the things in English class we talked about is like being a part of something bigger than you. And so like when you join a community or something, you just feel better just because like the things you're doing are bigger than what you could ever do on your own. So I think that just feels really fulfilling to yourself as a person.
Love that statement. I mean, being a part of something that's bigger than you, and that's all of you have shown that. Lillian, why would you, if you were talking to one of your peers, why would you sit there and say like it's you should be involved in things?
So I'm gonna probably go back to journalism because that is where my passion lies. But I think one thing that Brandy Benson always says is to always try new things. And I think she was definitely the one person who pushed me to try out and do all these new things at Southwest. And I think it just really helped me be like, whoa, I like this, or I'm like, oh no, I don't. I'm not gonna do that, sort of a thing. And I just think it was I think, yeah, again, the sense of community that's there. And like, yeah, you can be in any group and they want you there, like especially at Southwest. We have so many different clubs and things. And I think, yeah, it's really lovely to get involved in them.
Awesome. Awesome. McKenna, how about you?
Um, sorry. I'd say it's like for like younger people like myself and my peers, like I know a lot of them don't want to put themselves out there and like get involved with the community because they don't want to be seen as outcasts. But like that's really important. Like it's really important to actually put yourself out there so that you are able to be your own person instead of trying to blend in with the crowd.
Like that, like that. So, another question for you is just, what are the qualities that you look for, like in individuals? Like, what's a quality that you admire most in somebody? And then just who's a person that embodies this? I know, Lynn, you talked about Miss Benson, and her name's been brought up a couple times. And McKenna, I love how you talked about just the Martin Luther King Wall of Honor and the tie component. So you've obviously gotten to talk to some individuals. So what is it? Just like what's a quality that you admire most, and who is somebody in your life that embodies those? Let's start with you, McKenna.
I'd say a quality that I really admire is like probably the ability to always like be truthful. Cause like I know a lot of people don't want to hurt your feelings, so they're gonna lie to you. And I'd say like someone who embodies that is my mom. She's always been honest with me. She's always been truthful, and she always tells me when like there's something that makes her uncomfortable or something that she thinks that I wouldn't like. And so she's just always been really good at being there and listening and talking and telling the truth.
So if you don't mind, what's the best piece of advice that she's given you?
I'd say, well, there's a lot.
Okay.
I'd say to me personally, like I can't remember it word for word, but like she's always told me to like stay true to myself. And that's
Wow.
always stuck with me.
Yeah, no, powerful, powerful, good words. Lillian, what about you?
I would say something that I really admire in a person is being able to know when you're wrong and being able to fix it. Because I think it's really hard to admit that you're wrong a lot of the times, and I struggle with that too. But being able to like show that you can learn from that experience, I think is really powerful. And I think again, I'll go back to Benson. I think she really embodies that for me. I mean, teachers have always been a role model in my life, and I think a lot of my teachers have shown me that it's okay to be wrong.
Like that. Xavier.
One of like two of the qualities that I'd say I like look for most in a person is just ambition and drive. I think that is just one of like the really big ones for me. And my dad is one of the main people who in my life who embody that because I know he's a really hard worker and such, and that just really inspires me. And like one piece of advice he's given me is like in his own words, you can do whatever you want in this life. And so that really just stuck with me because like if you put your all into something, you can really accomplish anything.
Wow. I mean, I think that long list, we'd love to have them sitting in the seats, and having that conversation. If you're just joining, you're on 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score. This is your host, Pete Ferguson. We're joined here by Scholar McKenna, Lillian, and Xavier. They're dropping knowledge as usual, but greatly appreciate them joining. Harrison's on the ones and twos, and so greatly appreciate him being here on Sunday morning. You all talked about those relationships and or you talked about qualities and you talked about those people that you admire. Question I always ask is, why do relationships matter? Why do relationships matter to you? Xavier, I'll start with you.
Fundamentally is like human beings were designed to just talk to one another and just be sociable creatures. So like relationships really it's like it's just you connecting to another person that really like it just makes you feel like good in a sense whenever you have like a really good connection with someone.
Like that. Lillian.
I think I think relationships really matter because it like helps form who you are as a person. And I think every relationship, good or bad, is really beneficial to you. I mean, I've had falling outs with friends and things, and I think still they have impacted my life in some way and helped form me to be who I am.
Okay, great. McKenna.
Kind of like Lillian said, relationships form who you are. And like if there's someone, I don't know how to describe it, If there's like someone you like really know and are really close with, like they're gonna kind of rub off on you. Like my best friend, we joke about the same things because we've been best friends for so long. And so like it kind of makes us like closer together and who we are. Because if we don't really have each other, then if we don't have each other, then we don't know who we are because there's no one to like lead us and guide us.
Oh, powerful insights. You've all both kind of recently had the opportunity to be engaged with the station owner, Mr. Derek Pearson, and he came in. I believe it was Wednesday. We had a session, and he spoke. And for those of you who haven't gotten the opportunity to hear Mr. Pearson kind of throw it down, and he'll empower, he'll educate you, he'll engage you, inspire you in so many different ways. But one of his messages was talking about love. And I'm going to ask you for you to each kind of give your definition of what love is. And Lillian, I want to start with you. If somebody were to ask you to define love, what is love?
I don't think I quite have a definition in my brain for love because I feel like it embodies so many things. But I think definitely, I feel like the people around you really like show love. Like I don't really know how to describe it because I don't have a definition personally, but I think it's such a like broad spectrum of like just love is a spectrum. So.
Awesome. McKenna.
I'd say love. Sorry, I'd say love is like a flowing river. Like there's gonna be like bumps and rocks, and there's gonna be um, like what do you call it? Like, yeah. There's gonna be like a whole bunch of like turns and stuff and rocks, and you're gonna have to go through it. You're gonna have to take it one step at a time.
So with those bumps and rocks and those rapids, kind of navigating it. That's great. Xavier.
Love to me, it's kind of an umbrella term for a lot of things, but it's like sacrifice, caring, compassion, kindness is kind of like the big way I'd summarize it. And I mean, it's just like repeating all those actions over and over again, and also just taking action too at the same time while showing all those emotions.
Wow. So if you were to summarize what you heard from Mr. Pearson on Wednesday, I've shared a little bit, but I'm just interested, and I know he's listening, just coming back from Wisconsin. What did you take away from his message? Like, how did it either educate you, empower you, or engage you from the components of what he shared? And so, Lillian, I'm kind of interested to hear what you have to say as a competitor in the speech and debate world.
Yeah, so I really think one thing that resonated with me, and it's kind of for my love of poetry too, is that Pearson said that love is like DNA. And I think that really resonated with me because I mean afterwards I wrote I helped write a poem about how like love is like just within the body and how it grows and like I guess within the speech community, I think what really resonated with me was like I was thinking back to how, oh, I'll have a competition this week and how like I really hope that my speech somehow impacts one person enough so that they care about what I talk about. And I think that's something that I really hoped I did this weekend. But
Wow. No, fantastic. I'm sure you did. And obviously the way you placed, obviously you did that, but you've always touched a lot of people in regards to your words and just your presence. So I'm appreciative of that. McKenna, what about you? What was something that you just like, wow, this is something, that really spoke to me?
Um, Personally, I love how he like sorry. He kept like going back, like he kept like bringing us all back to the word love instead of like straying far away. He kept bringing us back to it. Like instead of like going off and talking about like he loves dogs or something. He like
He does love dogs. That's the scary thing is the fact is he does love dogs. So
like he just like stayed on the topic. Like he stayed on topic of like love and what love is. I really love that.
awesome. Xavier.
One of the things that like his speech really impacted me, or one of the things I took away was loving everyone. I remember he talked about like kids in homes where like both parents are still together, how we are loved on more than like some other kids, and how it's our job to spread that love throughout. And I think that really stuck with me, just because it's like a really impactful, like it's just really impactful. And then I know one of the things I've like seen a lot is like it's easier to like be mean and like hate than it is to be nice. And so I think that kind of stuck with me as like kind of being in the realm of the same thing. And I think it's still like it's more worth it to be nice because you feel good afterwards just for being nice to someone else.
So as you're reflecting on that, what are some examples of love in Lincoln? Where have you seen some tangible examples of love in Lincoln? Xavier, I'm gonna start with you.
I know in the thing that we wrote for Lincoln Loves, I think I used a few examples. One was like just it's not even just in Lincoln, but throughout like all cities or all places as an example, but like a librarian helping a kid pick out a book, or like a husband cooking dinner for his wife after a long day. And just kind of like those kind, simple acts, really.
Wow. Lillian.
Yeah, I really think that like the simple things that people do really shows the love here in Lincoln. And I guess kind of like I have never thought living in Lincoln my whole life, I've never thought, oh my gosh, I love Lincoln, Nebraska. Because I've always wanted to go new places. I've always wanted to see new things. But I think one thing I always hear from other people is that people in Lincoln, Nebraska are really kind people. And I think that really resonates with me because I'm like, yeah, you're right. And I think that really shows some of the love is just like the kind acts that people do here in Nebraska.
What's been an example that you've experienced of that firsthand?
I would say, I think let's go back to 7th grade. I think my English teacher, Miss Hohenfeld, I have like, okay, so I have a chronic illness, so I was gone for a day at school, and I come back and my friends told her where I was, and she was just the sweetest person to me. And I was like, as a 7th grader, I didn't want to go to where I was going. I thought it really was like, wow, this person cares for me. And I think that was really, really impactful to my life.
Wow, that's powerful. Now, shout out to the 7th grade teacher. You said that like it was so long ago too. When you like looked at both Harrison and I was like, I'm gonna have to go back to 7th grade. So, McKenna, what about you?
Oh.
No.
A lot like sorry. A lot like they said, like the kind, simple acts, they make a really big difference. They like sorry.
No, you're
I'm so
good.
sorry.
We got the coughs, we got the hiccups, we got everything.
They're like even just the smallest little things, like giving someone a muffin, it will stick with you. Like, it'll stick with you for a long time because I know, like, it. I don't know what it's called, but like someone, like, like when you do something for someone, I think it's called dopamine. It's like
Yeah.
a drug in your head, and it makes you like happy. I think. I'm
Okay,
pretty sure.
okay. Yeah.
Um,
So you're throwing out all the knowledge. I was like, we were sitting there, okay, where's that going? Harrison's like, we might need to go to a break. But hey, no, we're gonna come back and we've talked about where love exists in Lincoln, but we also want to just kind of ask you, where do you think Lincoln can level up its love? Where there may be some gaps for individuals that may not be receiving that. So we'll be right back after this break on 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score.
Your business runs like a well-oiled machine. It's important that your actual machines do too. Stern is here to make sure you don't have to worry about that. They provide solutions for heavy equipment and automotive fuels, lubricants, and equipment guard options. And with Stern's commitment to customer service for the past 40 years, you know you have a partner to help support your operations for years to come. Contact Roger at Stern Company by calling 1-800-477-2744 or visit them online at stern.co. Stern Company, where problems meet solvers.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Ready to make this season unforgettable? Celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union's low-rate debt consolidation loan. Combine all those bills into one affordable monthly payment with quick access to funds. Imagine all the extra cash for holiday shopping sprees, festive parties, or that well-deserved vacation. Stop by any of their branches or visit libertyfirstcu.com to find out more about their low-rate debt consolidation loan. Make this holiday season one to remember and celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
First, I hold my hands out like they're on a steering wheel. Then I look over my shoulder. Next, I put it in reverse.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's me, your cell phone. We need to talk about something serious. I know you love me. I know you like using me wherever you are, but I feel like this isn't working out when you're driving. I know you may think that it's possible to focus both on me and the road, but I just don't feel the same way. I think we should spend time away from each other when you're driving. It's for the best.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through November 21st is buy one, get one free on 4-ounce filet mignons. And bring on the holiday cheers with 15% off all wine, beer, and spirits. Plus, don't forget their 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Back to Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score. We got the laughs, we got the giggles, we got the good stuff going on, so you cannot complain on a Sunday morning. It looks like the station owner, the GM, the Mark Cuban of the area has just made his entrance, Mr. Derek Pearson. I know he's got the code to the thing, so he'll be able to open it up. But real great. If you want to call or text in the Sartor Heyman text line, 402-464-5685, or the Honda of Lincoln hotline. Appreciative of Lillian doing that. I had some old man issues. She started to slide it over and be like, okay, can you see that as it started getting a little bit blurry? She's like, can you read with this side? But it has been so far a great experience, great opportunity. We've had these scholars. We've got McKenna. We've got Lillian. We've got Xavier in here throwing it down. But just recently, just our last episode, we're just sharing about love. On the last segment, sharing about where love existed in Lincoln, how it's impacted them, where they've been touched by it. The question I kind of want to ask you is just, where are areas that Lincoln kind of level up its love? Where are there gaps that Lincoln needs to work on, or just the entire, I guess the communities that you're a part of could level up on love, and what would that look like for individuals? And I'm going to start with you, Lillian, again.
I think a place that we could level up some love in Lincoln, I think for me in like the Southwest community, as I think recognizing when people are not being nice, like, and also like people need to take accountability for their actions, and they need to have consequences for their actions. And I think a lot of that goes to with when people say like slurs in the hallways and stuff like that. And I think that's one place where I'm like, I really wish I didn't have to hear that while I'm walking through the halls, but I hope that someday it gets better.
Fantastic. McKenna, what about you? Where's areas Lincoln can level up its love?
Like Lily said, definitely at school, cause like at my school we have a lot of like inclusive clubs, but like there's not a lot of people in them, and kids don't really know about them, and um like a lot of kids, I don't know, I don't want to call them kids, cause like we're all the same. We're
Yeah,
the same
scholars,
age.
scholars.
Yeah.
You hear
Um,
scholars. There you go.
we're like we want to learn stuff, but we don't want to learn. Like we just want to get it done, and we don't know how to pay attention and listen, especially in class,
Hmm.
because then like they're not being mindful and like mindful of the other students.
I think going through that process, sometimes we want that immediate gratification. I don't think that's just scholars. I think that's adults as well. And so going through that process. So glad you provided that reflection. Xavier, what about you? Where are some areas Lincoln can level up its love?
I think like those two going back to school, at Southwest, kind of in the sports world, just like when we beat the opposing team or even when we lose, not being sore about it and still like congratulating the other team. Because I see a lot of like just like screw East, especially from Southwest, a lot. Whereas it could really just be like it should really just be kind, Because I mean, yeah, there's a competitive aspect, but at the end of the day, we're all like competing for the same thing, which is to be good at that sport.
I think that's a heck of a promo right there for something called Bigger Than the Score. So, I mean, no, without question, I think it's, understanding that competition is definitely a part of it, but it's also, recognizing what other individuals bring to the table and what the investment that they've made. We do have a text in, and so it just says it's such an honor to listen to these scholars and to be in their presence. The changes they can make in this world are yet to be determined, and I'm so excited to see where they take their message of love and equity. Great job, McKenna, Lillian, Xavier, and it says and Pete. I'm going to put Ann Harrison as well. Also, Lillian, we're supposed to ask you about what your magazine staff is working on. So I guess that's a great lead in. What is the magazine staff at Lincoln Southwest working on?
We're currently, so we do a magazine every semester. So we are currently working on a magazine about heroes within the Southwest community. So we have, I think about like 8 feature stories about teachers and students around Southwest who really embody like heroes to us. And then we have like fun like crosswords and stuff, and we have like what is a hero to you and who is a hero to you, and yeah, stuff like that.
Love that. So I'm looking forward to that. It looks like there's going to be some guests here coming in 2024, bringing some of those heroes forward. A question I want to ask each of you. So we're going to let you lay the blueprint. Okay. And love print as Mr. Pearson would put forward for this community. But how does our community ensure educators, the community, stakeholders, business leaders, how do we ensure that they do the critical work towards love? And so how do we ensure that those individuals that, whether it be scholars, adults, business individuals, politicians, do that critical work towards love? Xavier.
I mean, like it's in like LPS, like honestly, obviously there's screenings for certain teachers, and obviously some of them aren't going to pass selection due to just them not being kind and not being equitable. And I mean, and also on like from another standpoint, we also like constantly educate teachers about like what equity is and how to have equity in the classroom and such. And so that's just like one of the big 2 ways that we make sure that equity is talked about throughout the classroom and just in Lincoln in general.
Okay, great. Lillian, how do we ensure that, we do the critical work towards love?
I think a lot of what Xavier said was like something that I resonate with too, is like, I think really showing that teachers like need to learn exactly what equity is and how to be like, not necessarily like they're not kind in the classroom, but how to like understand what their students are going through. And I think that's something that's really important.
Awesome. McKenna, how do we ensure that educators, stakeholders, business leaders, politicians do the critical work towards love?
I remember like at the meeting on Wednesday, we talked about like checking in with people and but like that's not always a good way because sometimes like even though you check in, people like they won't always be truthful about what they'll say. And so sometimes you're gonna have to experience it firsthand. So maybe you'll have to like an educator, maybe you have to go to the school and like be in their classroom without them like knowing, or also like, act differently or something.
Well, I want to ask you, what's a piece of advice that you have? A piece of advice that you would have for your peers? McKenna, piece of advice you'd have for your peers?
Like about anything?
Yeah, just on anything. Just a random piece of advice that you'd have for your peers.
I'd say like always be like true to yourself and be truthful to yourself. So like be honest with yourself. Like, am I actually going to like this? Am I actually going to do this?
Okay. Lillian, a piece of advice that you would have toward for educators.
For educators, I think, I don't know.
You got all of them. You got all 9,000 in the room, or all of them in the country. You're standing up in front. You're giving that speech. What's a big piece of advice you have for them?
I would probably say make sure that you are in the right place to teach students. Like, make sure that your mental health is good and make sure that if you need to take a break, you take a break.
Okay. What's a piece of advice, Xavier, that you would have for, we said educators, we had parents, a piece of advice you'd have for parents?
That's a bit of a tough one.
Not maybe your parents. I want you to be able to go home. I know they're waiting outside to give you a ride home. So,
I mean, just always be sympathetic towards your child. They're always going through a lot of things. Same time, they don't have sports or school or just friends or just all of that. It's always good to just like stay sympathetic towards them and always just be on their side for the most part. I mean, there's sometimes you can't always be, but be on their side, always advocate for them and always just like be supportive of them,
Awesome. So we're joined in studio by station owner, Mr. Derek Pearson, DP, for those that know him. Before he takes over the mic, I'll say put him on the mic. He can take the mic whenever he wants. It's his house. McKenna and Lillian, I want you to read the piece that you created on love, just on love on Wednesday that you read. And I want to get Mr. Pearson's just response to it, but the experience that he had on Wednesday after hearing it. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you two.
Okay, so our poem is called The Living Poem, and it's like it's the living poem so people can like add on to it because we want community people, like, I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's kind of what our purpose was, and I guess I'll read it now. So, a wise man once said, "DNA isn't our love print. Written inside our bones, deep in the narrow marrow path, is something greater than ourselves. Love is the blood that flows through our ever-growing limbs. Love is the atom that embraces us in warmth. Love is the passion we put our body through to reveal the best parts of ourselves. Love is our guiding compass that brings us to greatness. Love is loving hate. Love is a passion that can be a beaker for others. Love is living."
I'm going to have to go ahead and turn this over to Dr. Pearson right here and let him go ahead and give that feedback.
First of all, good morning.
Good morning. Morning.
Listen, Wednesday was I said I get a gift because I get to speak to people and it's just me outward. But what I put out, I get back in multitude. And if I give love simply, then it returns in full. And Wednesday, I got that thing from you. It was amazing to have you accept a mission and a message and then take it and make it greater than it was, which is an actual love print. That's actually what this is. And again, I'm standing here this morning with tears in my eyes, just having you read it, because going into rooms around Lincoln, the idea of the station, the idea of the show, the idea of education and community is just making it better than it is. leaving it better than you found it. And I can say, as I told you that day, I feel better about trusting my future here in Lincoln because of you. Because of you, your ability to take a simple, kind thing and make it greater gives me hope for the city, for the education system, for what you're going to do in this world going forward. I can relax and sleep well at night knowing that we're in good hands. We're in very good hands. Thank you for offering that again this morning for people who weren't in that room. And it speaks to what we want to do with that Lincoln Loves will be a project forward in each of the schools, or at least from students in the schools, who just simply provide a platform of love, a positive thing that we can say out loud constantly and consistently. That's who y'all are. God bless y'all for what y'all did Wednesday and what you do this morning. Thank you. Thank you. Remember the 3 words. Thank you. Love you. Well done. All true this morning.
Hey, thank you as always. I'll say Dr. Pearson, that's, Dr. DP, DDP. So we'll go ahead, but I'm truly appreciative what he poured and invested in these young people. And I know he just came back off the road off a long evening, but truly was something special. So, and Lily and McKenna, thank you for sharing your piece. I want to just ask you a little bit, like, what does your future entail? I mean, you've got greatness in this space written all over you, but I want you to put out a little bit. What does your future look like? McKenna, we'll start with you.
If I'm being real honest, I don't know what my future will entail because it's the future, so you don't really know what's going to go on. So you just kind of have to play it through.
It entails greatness. I know that for you as a whole. Lillian, what about you?
I would say the exact same thing. I have no idea what my future holds, but I guess I would like to go to college in some realm of the arts and humanities, some realm of like literature or journalism or photography, or I don't even know. I do so many things.
Okay.
But yeah.
Fantastic. Xavier.
I'd say probably a lot of studying. I think I want I want to try and probably go to like an Ivy League maybe. And if that doesn't even work out, then just go to UNL, save money, and then major in engineering so far. That's about all I have really pieced together.
Okay. And now we got a little update earlier. I said I wanted to get an update on Soulfire Kicks and how things are going. You said we talked a little bit earlier about releases and things like that, but like how's business going, and what's a release, what's a drop that's coming up that you're looking forward to?
It's been like about the same. It's not slow per se, it's just kind of medium moving. But one of the big drops that I'm looking forward to, 2 of them are the Powerpuff Girl skateboarding dunks. They're gonna have like 3 different pairs. They're gonna be like purple, green, and so I don't remember the third color, but it's based on like bubbles, and I don't remember the green one, the purple one.
Okay.
Bubbles,
Okay.
Buttercup,
Now Harrison, now Harrison and I need to know what we need to look out for and put on our Christmas list for the radio station. The gift exchange. Oh, fantastic. So, as we get ready, kind of wrap up and looking at different things, want each of you, what is one expectation that you have from this community in regards to love moving forward? After they heard this message, what's an expectation that you have that you can hold this community accountable for in regards to love moving forward? Xavier, we'll start with you.
I would just hope that like one more like simple act of kindness would be done, like just holding the door for someone, or just like greeting someone in the morning, or just something like that. I think just doing that basic thing could like really improve a lot of people's days.
Love that. You gave that tangible act. Lillian, something, what's something that you'll hold Lincoln accountable for in regards to love moving forward with a tangible act?
I think making like Dr. Pearson said, I think making sure that you spread love like that you are given to other people. And I think like the small acts of kindness are really impactful. And I think I would hope that after people listen to this, that they go out and just do one small act of kindness.
Wow, I like that. McKenna.
I'd say I would hope like people would know more about it and like be able to embrace it and like, or love, I mean, and like, Just like
I think if they capture your smile, if they smile, I mean, Harrison, I just have to say, if they capture your smile and do that, I think this community will be on a great track. We'll be on a phenomenal track. Anything else that you all want to say before we kind of close the show? But anything, shout outs you want to give, or piece of advice that you want to give to others out there that might be feeling love or may just be a little bit absent and need somebody to boost them up today after the Huskers lost yesterday or whatever else. Give your shout out in 3 words or 1 sentence. A shout out of love to somebody. McKenna.
I say shout out to my mom for driving me here because
it's a long walk. It's a long walk. No, I appreciate that. Lillian.
I would probably be shout out to all the people in my life who have impacted me.
Awesome. Xavier.
Just a shout out to my family just for loving me and like helping me spread love to others.
Awesome. Well, here's one final message as we kind of get ready to close the show. It's another one that was written by the scholars. It says, love is patient and patient and passionate pursuit. It's an ambassador for truth. Nobody can do it all alone. So as it grows to secure another recruit, love can be a weapon, lethal as ever, blessed with natural abilities, peaceful and clever. Jeremiah, Maya, Jason, and Noah wrote this. And so with that being said, continue to spread those love prints, as Dr. DP said. And again, we'll see you next week on 93.7 The Ticket. Have a great Thanksgiving. This is Pete Ferguson.